Oh man, we got a good group of right tackles that everybody wants to compete, so it's really easy and it's fun to watch. You know, we got a Beach and Justin there. They're both guys that really get after it every day, and you know we got young boy Josh in there competing as well. So it's fun to watch. I don't know if I answered the
DJ,
question.
good to see you. How
Hey.
does it feel like y'all are at, like, how far along are you as compared to last year with Cliff in this offense?
It feels crazy because I was telling somebody earlier, this is the first time in a while I didn't have to learn a new offense. We could play so fast, you know. For me, I'm big on not having to question things and not having to second guess myself. I can just play fast, and it makes it super easy for me. And the offense is so fun, and you know, once you get a little a cadence of how you do things, it's easy to play fast, and it's exciting.
Hey, DJ.
Excitement calls.
I'm curious. I know it's early in camp, but at least you've done some offense, defense in an empty stadium. I'm wondering if it's been weird. I mean, usually training camp isn't full anyways, but with no fans at all, has that impacted you at all? And have you thought much about what it could be like during the season without it?
Honestly, I think from playing at Florida, like I learned how to block out crowd noise early. So like I honestly, when you play left tackle, it's usually big competition every down. So it's kind of hard to focus on the crowd or even pay it any mind. Um, I'm more so just locked in on competing every time, you know, and I think that's how I get my rise out of feeling. I feel like the crowd's never cheering for me anyway, so it's not that big of a deal to get used to. But until I hear the crowd saying Larry, I think they're cheering for me every time. So I'm just out there trying to go crazy.
Next three, Josh Weinfuss, Cam Cox, Bob McManaman.
Hey, DJ, two-part question about Kyler. He's kind of developed a reputation as being humble. How have you seen that? And is he any different with you guys, kind of the off-the-field part this year than he was last year?
Who called Kyler humble?
A lot of people have called him.
No. It's funny. It's funny how he is. He's humble, but he knows who he is, and it's something that you like to see from a young player because you can't waver him and who he is and what he can do. He knows exactly who he is and what he can do, and that's one of those things that you like to see, especially a young quarterback. You know, a guy that you don't have to get going. And you know, he doesn't need a crowd to go out and drop bombs every night. He wants to win, and it's fun to watch, especially coming from somebody so young. What was the second part? I mean, I forgot.
Is he any different this year than he was last year?
Oh yeah, I think he's a lot more. How'd I say? You could tell that he's not worried about anyone messing with him because he's a young guy. It's a lot easier to joke around with. I'm a big joker. I like to play around. And I think last year he was so concerned with figuring everything out. He couldn't really tell when the O-line was like being sarcastic and joking around with him. So I think he's starting to figure that out a little bit more. He's picking back with us a lot. You know, it makes it fun. I try to make everything fun that we do because at the end of the day, we're playing a child's game, you know, and if you're not having fun, I don't know what you're doing in your job. So it's been fun to see him progress and become so much more personable.
Hey, DJ, good to see you. Hope everything's going well.
Hey there, Cam.
I got two questions for you. One, have you started to pick up the game of golf? And then two, yesterday was kind of the year benchmark of when somebody called your offense pretty boy football. Last year, I know y'all were out to change that. This year, what are you guys out to do offensively?
Hey, man, I am picking up golf. Big golf guy here. I got my driving game down pat. I'm really working on my short game, mainly the chips. You know, I'm getting a little bit too much wrist flick on my chips. I'm hooking them a little bit. You know, I got to remember to swing down at the ball and keep my club behind. I'm getting my club ahead a little too much, and I'm swooping the grass a lot. So I'm just working on my chip game mainly right now. The driver game, I kind of got it down pat. You know, I'm pretty happy Gilmore with the driver game. We just got to, you know, work on being consistent with it. Sometimes I miss the ball a lot, you know, but when I connect with it, it's out of there. But what was the second question? Oh, pretty boy football. I'll let you get back to me on this, Cam, but I know we set a franchise record at rushes per carry. I don't know where the Raiders compared in that last year, but that's the stat that I would like to see, where they compared in their rushing yards compared to ours per carry. I would like to see it since we're pretty boy football because I know we set a franchise record. That's why I said I would just like to see it.
DJ, I'm curious. What are you doing consciously and subconsciously to cut down on penalties, and talk about what goes into getting penalties? It's not always on you.
Yeah, I mean, I think that was probably one of the biggest things I wanted to work on in the offense this offseason is cutting down on the penalties. Some of my penalties are not going to go to where I'm never gonna get to the point and try to figure out a way to grab this guy in a safe way. I'm getting to the point and I'm making plays. I'm trying to make it happen. If they throw the flag, they throw the flag. I'm never going to be hesitant at any point of contact. If it happens, it happens. But staying on sides is something that I can control, and that's probably the main thing that I'm focusing on is cutting back on the pre-snap penalties and the self-inflicted wounds and stuff I can't control. Holds and being too unnecessary roughness and all that stuff. I mean, they come, they go. Whatever happens, happens. I'm never going to hesitate at the point of attack and try to figure out a way to not hit this guy in a way that's going to get me a penalty or a package. Like, however it happens, it happens. I'm going to play fast and I'm going to play physical.
Next three, Catherine Fitzgerald, Howard Balzer, Darren Urban.
DJ, I'm sorry to bring up such a sore subject, but Kyler Murray told us that he actually did not name his dog after you, and he laughed when we said that he did. Has that fractured y'all's relationship? How's that going to affect how you guys coordinate on the field?
You know, it was tough at first, but he broke it down to me. He told me his dog name was Swoosh, and I realized that it was a business decision. I got outbidded by Nike. It hurt. You know, it was one of those things I felt like he could have told me and I could have put in another bid, but, you know, a powerhouse like Nike comes in and throws in some incentives, a few bonuses here and there. It's hard to compete with those guys when you're a small business owner. So, you know, I understand it. I will be back to the table again soon.
Jay, you mentioned the guys over at right tackle. What was your reaction when you heard that Marcus had decided to opt out? And from you as a veteran, what have you seen so far from Josh Jones and his development progress with just having the Zoom in the offseason and not being able to get on the field? Now you guys are.
It was definitely a shock, man. You know, continue to pray for my boy Marcus. I know that was not an easy decision. I'm sure it was tough on him to make that decision and understanding that, you know, protecting your family is bigger than the game, you know, and that was something that I know it wasn't an easy decision for him as much as he loves the game and the way that he is as a person. And then in watching my young boy Josh progress and come in and be the rookie that he is very impressive to see a rookie come in and not have an offseason and have the offense so down pack and be able to roll and get in there and make mistakes that you can clean up and fix, you know, making those mistakes that you can't make unless you're doing it full speed, and seeing him being able to respond to those and not make the same mistake again is impressive to see as a veteran to watching the young guy, especially a young tackle. I take all my rookies personal. How troublesome my rookie year was, I take it personal because I had some older guys that put their arm around me, helped me get through it.
DJ, you guys have your first pad of practice coming up. What's in your mind about, you know, being able to do that again? And given the circumstances of the world, is there any trepidation of that kind of physical contact going on for you?
I'm excited for pads. I tell you like this, as a football player, I learned early, like, you say your prayers in the morning, you accept your fate, whatever comes with it, you know. I'm never going to go out there and be hesitant, and I don't want to hit my face mask into this guy because I don't want to get spit on my face. You know what I mean? It's the moment I do that is the moment I'm in the quarterback's lap, you know. So I know what comes with this game. And I know what the possibilities are of what's going on out there in the world right now. So it's one of those things that I'm cognizant of when I'm off the field and I'm on the sidelines and making sure I got my mask on and doing everything that I'm supposed to do in that light. But when you're in them trenches, it's hard to really be worried about someone spitting on you or getting a little saliva on your face mask from headbutting the guy. That's difficult to worry about, you know. So I try to, just like I said, accept my fate for what it is and go out there and put my best foot forward every snap.
Next three, Omar Ruiz, Kyle Odegaard, Catherine Fitzgerald.
Hey, DJ, it seems like we don't talk about it enough, but you guys did finish 10th in the league in rushing last year. What do you hope to build off in that department, you know, as you look as you head into the season?
I think just continue to build off of Cook said something about it today, which is telling us how, you know, we set the franchise record last year, and what's to say we can't add a yard to that, or we can't set it again this year, or you know, we're top 10 in rushing last year. Who said we can't be top 5 or number 1? You know, I think just when you got a guy like Kuz that keep you aware of your goals and having something to work towards, it makes it really easy. We're blessed to have him as a coach.
DJ, you switched between right and left tackle in your career. For a guy like Beacham, who's going to try to go from left to right, what kind of challenges are there trying to do that?
Oh, it's definitely a challenge. And it's like writing with your left hand. I don't know. I remember saying that once before. You know, you used to write with your right hand your whole life, and then somebody tell you to go out there 3rd and 10 Monday Night Football right with your left hand. It's definitely difficult. But if anybody can make that transition, it's Beacham. I mean, he's a pro's pro. It's one of those guys that he does everything right. I remember calling him. He giving me a call in the offseason and kind of trying to tell me, like, he's not going to come in trying to take over the room and push and telling me it's my room. I'm like, bro, me and Beach train every summer in the offseason at OLP, and I've always looked at Beach like a big brother, looking at him for advice or how to do things and looking at him to guide us because he's just one of those guys. And I was like, bro, don't nothing change about me when I come to this building or that building. Like, I still look at you the same way. So if anybody can make that transition, it's Beacham because he's just one of those guys he's going to do everything right, and he's going to give you everything he got, every snap, every period, every day. So I'm excited to see him progressing. It's not one of those things where he's complaining about it. He's taking it in his stride and trying to get better every day.
DJ, when you mentioned always trying to get to know the rookies, what have you learned about Josh Jones, like personality-wise so far, and how have you done that in a season like this?
It's funny. Josh is one of those guys that he's very confident in himself. You know, he knows exactly what he can do well and what he struggles with, and he's confident in that and being able to lean on that. And it's refreshing to see from a rookie because you don't see it often. You often see guys coming in, second guessing themselves and trying to figure it out. And he's more so like, I'm gonna swing first, and if I hit the wrong guy, you like tell me, but I'm gonna swing first. And that's what you want to see coming from a young guy. But like I said, I've always took it personal when it comes to dealing with rookies. Because, like I said, I had a trouble rookie year, and the only way that got me through it was having vets to put their arm around me. So I always take it personal, especially with my young rookie tackles. And he's one of those guys that he's willing to feed into it. He's not he wants to listen, and he wants to gain the information. He wants to do it better. He wants to be good at it. So he makes it really easy.
We'll wrap it up with our last three: Jess Root, Josh Weinfuss, Howard Balzer.
Hey, DJ, you mentioned how you like to take the rookies in. What are you seeing from the second-year guys, Lamont, Joshua, or even Mason in his third year? What are you seeing from them and as they come back? It's
funny seeing Mason and, like, looking at him, like, I feel like he's been here for so long. And it's like, dang, bro, you going into your third year? Like, it's funny. I feel like everybody's progressing. It's one of those things where it's going to be I could tell it's trending for one of those camps where everybody's just getting better. When you have so many guys that were around last year, they kind of understand how we progress in the room and how we do stuff and how Cougs is with the progression to day to day, and everybody's taking it serious. You know, everybody's picking something and working on it every day. Everybody's getting better at their craft, so it's fun to watch. You know, it's fun to watch Josh and Lamont continue to progress. You know, Lamont being a guy that's very confident in himself and the way that he does things and continue to grow on that, and Josh being a guy that's learning confidence and understand how big and strong he is, and if he just do certain things the way that he thinks about doing it in his head, he can do it. It's fun to watch and help those guys and be a part of it because, like I said, I had someone that helped me when I was younger, put their arm around me. So I just try to continue to be that light for those guys and give them a little love, a few coach points here and there, a little comedic relief when stuff get a little too serious for them.
Hey, DJ, has Cliff still been able to be creative offensively despite not having all the extra time with you guys on the field? And if so, how?
Hey, tell you something. The guy's the wizard. But I won't tell you anything that we're doing. We're just running the ball left and we're burning the ball right. And we're throwing it deep. So it's a good answer.
Pretty good. Hey, following up on getting into pads, which obviously we know is later than normal, how much urgency do you and everybody feel getting into those pads and knowing that the regular season opener is 4 weeks from today?
Eager. You know, it's different when you know that you're not going to have any preseason or you're not going to be running to anyone else this offseason, and knowing that you kind of got to get ready with your guys. So I'm very eager to put the pads on it and get after it. I mean, it's been a long, boring summer just hanging out, working out in the gym. So being able to get in front of guys and really roll them, you know, had a lot of little slight physicality here with these jerseys on. So interested to see how tough guys are once we get these pads on and get them rolling a little bit.
Definitely right now focusing on the nickel spot at number 2. It's only been 2 days, so I can't really say, everything's slowing down that fast, but it is looking pretty good right now, kind of getting my calls right, the checks, getting everything done. But I just think as a whole, our whole defense is looking, everything's kind of coming together.
Byron, it almost looks like maybe you're having more fun in training camp this year. Like, not that you weren't last year, but do you feel kind of freer with a year under your belt and obviously a different situation than last year?
Yeah, last year kind of, got straight to it. This year kind of, more relaxed, more confident as well. Having that experience, like I said, from last year, getting to play a couple of snaps, a lot of snaps, it kind of made me, kind of more confident, kind of slow down the game as well. But like I said, it's only been day 2, so we just got to keep working.
Next to Darren Urban, Kyle Odegaard.
Hey, Byron, I'm curious, and I know you guys were going through camp last year with Robert Alford, but now that he's back healthy, and obviously Patrick is not only back healthy, but he's going to be around at the beginning of the season. How does that kind of change how you're approaching all this? Whereas before you knew you were going to have a big role, and then once Robert got hurt, you knew you were going to have a giant role.
Yes, sir. I just think, since we're all back together, it's a way better feeling, everyone's 100%. And as I said, when you have your whole group together, your units are stronger, and I feel like our communication is going even higher. So just a big relief to have everyone with us. And like I said, the role from last year to this year, the same thing. Everyone got to, I think everyone's going to have a big role, either, doing just doing the little assignments from the whole defense as well.
Cliff's called you a ball hawk multiple times. Do you always feel like if the ball is in your vicinity, you trust your hands pretty well? And do you identify as that as a playmaker if the ball's coming your way?
Oh, 100%. Now, that's kind of my thing. When I see the ball, I'm trying to go attack it and get it out the air or wherever it's at. So that's kind of one of the things I always keep in my head. If the ball is zone, man, wherever the ball is, get to it or make a play. Just make sure I'm finishing through the whole play.
Next 3, Catherine Fitzgerald, Jess Root, Howard Balzer.
Byron, obviously every coach in the NFL has had to do some different things this offseason. So what were some specific things that Vance Joseph and other guys on defense too did that really helped y'all during the months when everything was virtual?
The virtual meetings were, a biggest thing for us. It was different because with everything going on, but at the same time, just make sure you're locked in. They're going to ask you questions randomly, so you just got to make sure you're ready and making sure you're just following through all the notes, writing everything down. So once they ask you a question, you can answer it quick and answer it with confidence. So that kind of helped us as well, just because it's virtual, so you got to make sure you're locked into every single meeting.
Hey, Byron, you obviously played a ton of snaps last year, ups and downs. What were the biggest lessons that you learned from that experience of playing through that?
I'll say the biggest lessons for sure is slowing down. Like I said, just coming in my first year, the confidence has to get there. The confidence has always been there for me, but sometimes just overthinking things. But like I said, just working on myself, just working on everything, going through the calls, even when I'm, just watching film with my coach or with my teammates, just kind of slowing everything down, letting the process just keep coming to me.
Byron, with some of the uncertainty there had to be in guys' minds coming to camp with everything you're going to have to do with the protocols and all that. Now that you're almost 3 weeks in, is it pretty much just settled? Have everyone pretty much settled into a routine and just been able to just, like you said, locked in and concentrate, focus?
Yes, sir, definitely. I think, once we get our schedule, that's the schedule we got to go by. So, once we get that locked in, I think the routine's coming now, come in at 8 o'clock every single morning and just go to work. So I just think that's, that's just a routine we always, that's what we all stick with.
Next up, Bob, Darren, Catherine.
Hey, Byron, for a guy who had a lot on his plate as a rookie, I'm wondering what you could look to as far as Jalen Thompson, same kind of thing with him and how he developed and how that's going to serve him well like it's serving you going forward.
I would say the same thing, both rookies last year. I think, everything was kind of fast for us. He's having a great camp already. So I just think the game, like I said, is slowing down for him as well. He's seeing things that, we didn't really see our rookie year. But I just think, like I said, it's slowing down. All the process is just coming to us much faster, recognizing formations and everything like that.
I know it's only been a couple of days where you guys have actually been able to go offense versus defense, and it's not even padded. But do you get a sense if the defense is ahead of the offense or vice versa? How would you kind of break that down at this point?
Oh, defense is ahead for sure. I got to stick with my brothers. The defense is for sure ahead. But like I said, we got a great offense to compete against every single day. So just take it day by day. Obviously, defense, we want to win every single day, and that's just our mindset. So we're just going to keep competing every day and get those dubs in.
Byron, I'm curious with how coronavirus has looked over the last few months. Obviously, Washington was a hot spot early on, and then Arizona was. So knowing so many people in both of those states, what is it like just been watching that from a personal level outside of football completely?
Personal level, something that was kind of serious. I had some uncles and aunties. I kind of, went through the whole corona thing. Just had to, had some time on the offseason, spend time with my son. So it kind of kept me in the house. So I kind of, after my aunt and my uncle went through the COVID thing, I kind of, had to really take it into consideration because the thing was, it was nothing to play with. But like I said, since I had my son around me, I was in the house and kind of made me, stay in the house and not go outside or go anywhere else. So it just made me protective as well.
Byron, the offense is getting a lot of hype. What has the defense done well against those ones versus ones matchup? What have you guys done to slow them down?
I think the biggest thing, like I said, we're all communicating together. That's one of the biggest things as a whole defense. You got to get the calls out, the assignments locked in. When someone to move, just keep repeating it. I think that's one thing, that's we really done a good job on and making plays on the ball. So, like I said, it's only been day 2. I feel like we got a lot of work to get done still, and I just say we keep pushing, and everything's just going to come along.
All right, we'll finish with Catherine Fitzgerald.
Byron, is your visor different this year? And it looks like a few more guys on the defense added them. So is that something that a lot of y'all are doing?
When you're a DB, you gotta play with some swag. So when you got to go out there and look good. So when I found out they had the color visors, I had to grab one. And the other guys had one. The younger guys gonna grab one. So we just all gotta look good together as a unit. Just play good, look good. That's how it always is.